racy, steamy, sexy. Oh, dirty. Oh, in the schools? In the school books? Nah, that's just too much. That's just too racy for school books. She did what with his what? And she did what with her what? In the school books? That's a bit racy for school, ain't it? It's a little bit dirty. Too dirty for school. My God. For 7-year-olds, 10-year-olds. That's a little bit too much for 10-year-olds. That's just too much. Everybody's got it wrong. There is no over sexualizing children in schools. There is just no proof of that. Moms for Liberty, Moms for America, Moms for Children, Moms for Youngsters. They're always out here screaming, yelling, and yapping about over sexualizing children. There is no such thing. These books in school, they are just teaching children how to be intimate. That's all they're doing. They're just guiding them, showing them what to do with the tools. What to do with the tools. That's all they do. Now, you can take it as it's a sexual thing if you want to. But again, school is what it's for. School is here to teach your children to know what to do with the penis, what to do with the vagina. That's what they're here for. And this is what you find in the books. And we're going to have a mom talk about just that right now. Hello, friends, and welcome to the Conservative Poet. I am Amania, and I want to say thank you to all of the new subscribers. We got a whole lot of people that hit that subscribe button, and I want to say thank you for doing that because I will surely work hard to entertain you, to bring you information, and just to be the fighter out here in the streets for you. So, thank you for subscribing. God bless you and God keep you.
This isn't about book banning at all. It's about age appropriate material being in front of our children. That's it. It has nothing to do with book banning. You can buy any book or borrow any book from a public library in the United States. Nothing is banned. I am going to read a selection tonight from a book called What Girls Are Made Of. It's a very disturbing book. It's by Alana K. Arnold, and it's found in Dulles and Clements High School. Okay. I'm sorry in advance for what I'm reading. I pull him out of his underwear, and he's soft in my hand. I don't look up at his face before I open my mouth, and I pull him into it, and I pull and I suck until he grows hard, and he makes sounds that mean he likes it. And I keep going and going, and when he says, "I'm going to come," I don't pull away. The jet of him is warm and salty and tastes like thickened sweat. He breathes hard, and his hands are tight fists at his eyes. I'm going to skip down. Yet I, least of all souls, take him in my hand, eat him and drink him, and I do with him what I will.
That is a scene straight out of the porno movie. Straight out of a porn movie. And talking about she swallowed this, talking about how it tastes like this and all that, and what's she gonna do with this? All that. That's a real porno scene right there. But you can find that in your local bookstore in the school.
And this is the part that's really troubling to me as a Christian. It's a real thing written by a religious mystic way back in the 13th century. She was talking about worshiping Jesus, but come on, she was talking about sex, right? Sex with Jesus. That was what she wanted, to give Jesus head, and I totally understood it.
They are not only teaching the children about all of these sexual deviances, but they're also throwing Jesus into the mix. as if the slap of the um, transgender day of visibility wasn't enough for the Christian this Easter. They have to throw this in too. Having sex with Jesus. I mean, somebody just sat there and made this up. They're actually visualizing and writing about talking to children about having sex with the Lord. You can't make this stuff up, or can you?
Selection. Seth pushed down my cutoffs and bikini bottoms and went to the ground with them, looking up at me as he pressed his tongue to my skin. My legs were shaking, so I sat down on the edge of the bed and my legs fell open to make room for his mouth. He licked and licked like a cat at a bowl of cream, and when the inside of me felt as wet as the outside, we tried again. This time, Seth touched my face and looked into my eyes as he fit his penis up against me as he pushed inside. This is not for kids. This is not for minors. This doesn't belong. Our tax dollars should not be putting this material in our schools. Please do the right thing and remove this from your libraries. Thank you.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Seen that, heard that, good. Hello, fellow patriots. Thank you so much for your support. And again, you can do so by purchasing products from the Orlando Patriots, mugs, t-shirts, all of your patriotic gear. We are in an election year, so we need to show the world that we support our candidates, especially President Trump. So get some gear at theorlandopatriot.com and you'll get 30% off. Thank you for your support. It means the world to me. I'll see you there. That reading is brought to you by Pornhub. I mean, it is a straight up text to what you would see on Pornhub. Not that I've been to Pornhub. I haven't been there in a while. It's been a few years since I've been there. But I have been there, so I have seen the stuff. I have seen it. But this is straight up pornography. They may tell you otherwise. They may tell you that you are hearing things, seeing things, and what you're reading and the visuals that comes with that, it's just all in your head. Ain't nothing to it. This is all good for kids. It's all good for them. But they are not sexualizing your children. Not at all. This is just good educational reading. It's good educational reading to enhance themselves. So when they come out here in the real world, they know what to do with a penis. They know what to do with a vagina. They know what to do with a butt plug. They know what to do with your butthole. They know what to do. They know what to do. So, a couple of weeks back, maybe about a month or so back, a little bit over a month, I'd say. Now, it was actually not too long after the governor uh, decided to leave the presidential race. And so I was really happy that he was back to work in Florida. So one of the first things he did was he had a press conference in reference to the books, the banning of the books, as they say. And it was a very small and intimate group, and I was honored and privileged to be in the room. And so I did try to live stream it. I did live stream it. It just that it was not very good. The footage, the Wi-Fi was terrible, so it was not very good footage. But I have found it, thanks to a friend who was also in the room, that the news actually reported the whole thing, because when I went to look for it, I only found bits and pieces, not the whole program. And so I would like to play the good part of that, where Governor DeSantis exposed some of the books and exactly what's in them. And again, these are all books that you're going to find in the school library where children, young children, 7, 6, 9, 10, can pick up these books because they're in their school libraries. So we're going to look at that right now.
Has empowered parents with curriculum transparency rights. Florida parents have used their rights to object to materials that are not appropriate for kids, such as Genderqueer, a memoir features graphic depictions of sex, including masturbation. This Book is Gay, a book featuring nudity, graphic discussion of sexual activity, and encouraging minors to sign up for gay sex apps. Flamer is a graphical sexual story that depicts a boy being forced to ejaculate into a water bottle or drink sperm. Let's Talk About It includes graphic depictions of genitalia, masturbation, oral sex, and anal sex, and encourages children to watch porn, use butt plugs, and send naked pictures to each other. Blankets by Craig Thompson includes graphic depictions of sex and masturbation, and even features the main character masturbating onto a piece of paper and using his to create a drawing. Lawn Boy. The book Lawn Boy contains several graphic depictions of 10-year-old children engaging in sex acts. Multiple excerpts from Lawn Boy contain similar disturbing material involving children. The book Shut Up by Marilyn Reynolds contains several references to sex slaves, oral sex, and animals. In the book Identical, father-daughter incest is described in disturbing detail. The book repeatedly includes passages about a father raping his young daughter. Many of the books the media has claimed were banned in Florida are classics that are on the Florida Department of Education's recommended reading list, including The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank, Martin Luther King Jr.'s Letter from a Birmingham Jail, Roberto Clemente, Pride of the Pittsburgh Pirates, references to Rosa Parks, I Am Ruby Bridges, and Romeo and Juliet. All of these books are recommended reading and have been featured as Book of the Month by the Florida Department of Education. Florida, education, not indoctrination.
Seen that, heard that, good. So you've seen that, and you certainly have heard that. And so all over the media, they talk about banning books, how Governor DeSantis is taking away children's rights to read, Black children especially. They throw it in as DEI, Black kids. They're erasing Black history. They're taking away opportunities from Blacks to learn to read. These are the books, friends, that they are taking away. Books that's explicit with sexual conversations, sexual deeds, sexual experiences. I mean, these books are literally grooming children to take them into the LGBTQ X, Y, and Z world. And that's where they want them to go. Straight into the arms of the demons. Right? That's where they want them to go. And again, I cannot get over it being that this is Easter week. We're still in Easter. And having Easter Sunday being dubbed Transgender Day of Visibility. Forget about Jesus, forget about Christ, forget about decency, forget about the resurrection, forget about these things, friends. It is Transgender Day of Visibility. And this is what they're pushing to children. These books telling them what to do in the butthole, telling them what to do with butt plugs, tell them what to do with other people's parts. Some of the same time, they're pushing the same parts. They're pushing the sexuality, same parts. These are the books that they don't want, that we don't want children, 7-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds. How low is the age? Gotta go. We don't want them in the schools, period. Right? But they tell you they want to get rid of books like Rosa Parks books. They want to get rid of Martin Luther King Jr. books. They want to get rid of books that's really good. Romeo and Juliet. These are the books. And if it wasn't terrible enough, Joy, woke agenda pusher, Joy Reid on the Readout, had one of the Moms for Liberty on her show to talk about these books. And again, the narrative point is that they are trying to take away good books from kids. And the Moms for Liberty held her own, but Joy Reid, the propagandist herself, this was her house, so she knew how to push the buttons, how to make her narrative go through, how to hide the truth. Who stands there and makes excuses for children being raped? Joy Reid does. She does. She makes excuses. Oh gosh, I just realized I shouldn't be saying these things because they might have issues with my video when I say children and being raped, because I've had this problem with YouTube already. But even if I make it clear as day, not trying to harm children here, just speaking about the books, YouTube. I'm not trying to push nothing on no kids. I'm just talking about the books and what was in the books. Hopefully that clears it up. Here's Governor DeSantis.
School. Parents in Florida have a right to send their kids to school knowing that they're going to be educated but not indoctrinated. And so we've provided some very robust protections for the rights of parents to direct the education, upbringing their school children, and have a voice into some of these things. So you will have some of the stuff you saw. Parents would bring that up to school board meetings, start reading, and the school board members would say it's too graphic. You can't do that at a school board meeting. Well, if you can't do it at a school board meeting, why are you injecting that into school children's classrooms? I mean, give me a break. Nobody defends what you saw on there. You will not find people that will come and publicly say that needs to be in their children's school. They won't do that. What they do is they try to create phony narratives. You saw some of the books that, quote, were challenged or that the media ran with, things that are not in any way in violation of any type of Florida law. Things ranging from things like the biography of Roberto Clemente, which not only was something that is welcome, it was actually on the book of the month for the Florida Department of Education. You've seen people challenge the Bible. You've seen people challenge dictionaries and act like, oh my gosh, in Florida, you had a teacher, I think in Bradenton area, that put paper over all the books. Oh, the state law, we're not allowed that. This is fraudulent. But what it is it's trying to obscure the reason why parents have been concerned with the things that people saw, which are clearly not appropriate. And they're basically trying to just confuse the issue to act like somehow that classic works are somehow not welcome. Nothing could be further from the truth. We want to ensure that that students have very rigorous and robust education.
Seen that, heard that, good. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been laid out pretty nicely here that once again, what these people want is to turn our children into deviants, into these things that we're seeing all over in the society. This is what they want, literally, to turn the children into sinners, is how I see it. And they will do that. Of course, it all happens in the schools. And again, that's why I am a huge advocate for homeschooling, school choice, and so on. And I'm really for taking apart the Board of Education when it comes to this in the state. Actually, not just the state, the whole country. Devour it, break it down, and let states decide what they're going to do, how they're going to school their children. Does not need to be under the umbrella of the federal government. So I'm a huge advocate of debunking and disbarring the Board of Ed and all of that. And also, which came out with the Biden administration under this transgender visibility, was the Secretary of Education. He came out to talk about this thing in reference to children and how he's talking to them in reference to this being good, this being great, this being awesome, this being a great thing, that you're a great thing if you're in this thing. You're great. And so this is again the Secretary of the Board of Ed, who is on top of your children's education, the one who's in charge, pulling the strings in reference to how all of this go. Here he is right now.
At the Department of Education, we know that all students do their best when they're seen and they're supported. To the many transgender students across the country listening on this Trans Day of Visibility, we in the Biden-Harris administration want you to know that we see you, we support you, and we celebrate you. We also know it's not an easy time to be you. Walking into a classroom should be an act of hope, not an act of bravery. That every day you choose to show up as your true self, you make this world a more brave, more honest, and more free place. In your gift for seeing things as they could be, I see the promise of America. Today, we at the Department of Education want you to know that your school, your community, and your country are better because you're a part of it. You don't just belong here, we need you here. From all of us here at the Department of Education, happy Trans Day of Visibility. At the Department of Education, we know that all students do their best when they're seen.
So yeah, you've seen that. So it's not in our imaginations as parents when we're looking at these books. It's not in our imaginations. It's not in the imagination of millions of people who show up and say these things are wrong. What we're seeing in school is wrong. Children should not be taught these things. These things should not be in the schools. A child should not be able to go to the library, their school library, and pick up a book like this. It is wrong. It's wrong. But when you bring this up, when you talk about it, they say, oh, you are conspiracy theories. Oh, this is all in your head. Oh, this is all in your mind. And you just saw the Secretary of Education. You just saw him laying it out. This is what they want. They want to turn every child. This is what they want. And it's really heartbroken. It's really sad. But this is the days we're in, friends. We all know what it is. We're living in the end of times. We're living in the end of times, and the Bible says that we're going to see these things. So we are not surprised. I'm not surprised, but I want to just talk about these things because they're happening. So we have to discuss them. Even though we know that the Bible says that we're going to see these things like never before. We're going to see these things. They're going to be happening. But we cannot just stick our heads under the sand and pretend that it's not. It is. And the Bible says these things would come. So, any event, that's going to be it for me in this video. Thank y'all very much for taking the time. Really do appreciate it. Hopefully, this video started off, well, nothing about this video has been funny. Truly, it hasn't. I did make, I've made some funs with it, but truly it's not. But it's just to show the craziness of it all. Just to show how somebody can stand up there and read these graphics, right? Read these sexual things and they tell you to your face, nope, you're wrong. You're wrong. That's not what's happening. It's not happening. No. Any event, that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys again. God bless you. God keep you. Let's have a conversation in the comments. And I'm going to leave it there. We're going to leave it there. Okay? God bless you, and you take care. I'll see you in another video. We need to give the school board the hammer, the Board of Ed the hammer, the Secretary of Education the hammer.